Hey, just me at the top of the episode here to remind you that we have a Patreon page. That's patreon.com/won't be forgetting that pod. We've got plenty of exclusive content on there. We've got a few bonus episodes as well, and a lot of the early information and releases will be there as well. So if you can help support the show, which it honestly, genuinely really does help support this show and help it to run, then please head over to patreon.com/won't be forgetting that pod. Enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome to Won't Be Forgetting That, a podcast talking about all of the most awkward and embarrassing moments of people working in the arts and entertainment industry. I'm your podcast host, Seb Muirhead, and today we have a guest. They are an actress, a stunt performer, brackets, stunt actor provisional, and a YouTuber, sort of, Emma-Louise Wilson.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
This is like a later one. Usually we do during the daytime, so thank you for coming out later on and fitting in this silly little podcast.
It's your fault for asking me during school holidays.
I know, I didn't. I don't have kids myself, as you've seen when you came into my house, and it is child-free.
Well, you got a fur baby.
I do. I have a little potato. So yes, not quite the same from what I've heard. But yeah.
Well, the difference is I can't leave mine at home alone.
No, and I presume you don't make them go to the toilet in the garden as well.
No, never.
Moving on.
No.
But yes, sorry, thank you for taking your time out during school holidays as well. Very rude of me to ask during then. But I do like to start this podcast off with a little bit of a compliment because I have realised over the past few episodes that I bring people in that I genuinely admire their work and I think are super talented and just get them to talk about the worst moments in their career, which isn't always the best reflection on that performer and person. So first off, not only are you an incredibly talented actor, but you're an incredibly talented stunt performer as well. There's so much stuff out there that people can see of your work. I mean, God, Utopia for 1 million episodes, right? That's how much it's been. Just the most recent season 2. Is it 40 episodes, was it?
So, we just did season 5 last year.
Yes.
And yes, for 8... Hang on, let me see if I do maths.
Yeah.
Good. 5 times 8 is... 40.
Yeah, there we go. I'll be honest, I cheated and looked up IMDb before this. I'm sorry.
I'm not allowed to look at myself.
I do it all the time. Just to see sometimes if anyone's added you to anything weird as well.
Of course I look up myself.
I know, everyone does, perpetually. It'd be like, oh, I don't know why this auto-corrected to my own name in Google. What? That's so weird. But yes, so you've got all of Utopia, excuse me. But then you've also got some of the really fun sort of independent films from the Melbourne scene as well. Sheborg Massacre. Wow, I don't think I said either of those words right. Sheborg Massacre. Very fun film. And then Tarnation as well, both by the same director.
Have you seen either of them?
I've seen both of them.
Oh!
Yeah. So I would suggest they're definitely both out on physical releases.
Yes.
So you can buy them both. Is there anywhere that people can find them online?
Not that I'm aware of at the moment.
Okay.
I think Monster Pictures in Australia.
Yeah.
I don't know about... So I think both are in the US market.
Yeah, fantastic. That's so exciting.
But I don't know
how
to source that.
The director, whose name I am so sorry.
Daniel Armstrong.
Armstrong, that's it. Yes, Daniel Armstrong. Has a little cult following and is, I don't know, I'd say pretty big in the old Melbourne or the Australian scene for the indie cult.
I think so.
Body horror kind of films. They have a very particular style to it. So if you enjoy them, I would definitely suggest looking them up.
I'd also whack them in the action comedy.
That's true as well,
kind of
right?
Thing.
That's the beautiful crossover of the acting and the stunt world.
Action with gore.
Yes.
And do not take themselves seriously at all.
Which is so fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love those kind of films. And they know exactly what they're doing.
Correct.
Yes. I don't know what it is, green porridge that comes out of people sometimes or anything like that.
That's green stuff on a budget.
Yeah, no, I love it. It looks so fun. And it's it's consistent as well with the film. If that happened in, I don't know, the top tier... top budget horror films, you'd be like, that's a little bit distracting, but I'm this fits perfectly. And it's fun. People need to make more films that are fun, honestly.
I'm pretty sure that's Dan's motto.
Yeah, right? Great.
He just makes films that he wants to watch.
Yeah, that's great. And again, those kind of films build up such a cult following as well.
Yeah.
They're probably never going to be your major blockbusters, but like the B grade horror movies, the I don't know, like they're not exploitation, I suppose maybe you'd call them.
Not quite, I don't think.
Okay, but like those style of movies, like the B grades, like, and that I mean that in an affectionate way as well, obviously, but like those aesthetics is very fun.
Correct. So Sheeborg Massacre actually began life entitled Sheeborg Puppy Farm Massacre.
Wow, I can see why you changed that.
It evolved. There is a little bit of dog guts in it, but...
Not a puppy farm, from memory.
No, it's because I couldn't get a puppy farm. You know what I mean? Like, it's all location dependent.
Yes.
And crew dependent, because everybody's working for free.
Oh, for sure. And that's the sad thing with a lot of, like, I was going to say Melbourne, Australian productions as well. It's just like, we'll work for free on this one, and hopefully the next one's paid.
Especially that kind of film. Like,
for sure, yeah.
I think we get the odd, Wolf Creek kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true. Something that blows up.
Pops up, and that probably only had, I think that budget was like $3 million or something like that.
Very low for what the kind of film it was. And then it did go on to spawn the 1-2 seasons of a TV show, was it? Yeah. So something came out of it.
Sequel and
oh, that's right. It did have a
stuff,
sequel as well, didn't it? Yeah. But again, like, $3 million is not even an episode of an American TV show.
No, exactly.
Crazy.
But how good is Wolf Creek?
I know, right? I would watch that over most American TV shows. Yeah. Unless any American TV shows are listening, and then give me a call, please. I rescind everything I said. But yes, so, and again with the Sheeborg Massacre, the blending of the stunt work and the acting work, is that something you enjoy doing when you can marry the two, or are you?
Oh, I'd love to do more of marrying the two.
Yeah. But it's hard.
It's like, I don't have the face for action, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So I think most people know me from Utopia.
Yeah.
And I look sweeter than I am.
Yeah. I'd say that character especially is a bit more of like, I don't want to say ditzy, but like a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Ditzy in that case. Yeah. Like very much comic relief for a comedy show as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not the straight person in it. So, yeah, I can understand maybe why people would be like...
And just a bit kind of, doe-eyed.
Yeah.
But I'm acting.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people find it very hard to separate the two when they're just a casual viewer.
Yeah.
You're like, no, this is her. Have you ever had anyone... I mean, you've done so many episodes of Utopia. Presumably you've had people recognise you?
Yes and no. So I'll explain.
Yes.
I've been recognised and people say, I love your work, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We have good conversations. They tell me about their government jobs and how much they love the show and, that's all lovely. But then I've had, I think it was early on, like after season 1 had aired, I did a fundraising event with the cast of Kinney, which was a sketch show I'd done sort of around the same time as...
We've had Max Price on the show before who wrote for Kinney, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Writer, producer.
Producer as well.
Director.
Yes. Except a slashy is what you'd call him.
He's a slashy. He pumps out his own social stuff as well.
Yeah, very prevalent. And funny as well on there. But yes.
So it was I think... Oh, God. I can't remember what it was a fundraiser for because it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, right.
And there was, I was with CJ Fortuna, who's a Melbourne comedian.
Yeah.
Funny guy. He was on season 1 and 2 of the show with me, of Kinney.
Yeah, nice.
And he was talking to someone, and this person was talking about Utopia to them.
Oh, cool.
And then I ended up sort of standing next to them. And
just waiting
hi.
for the glance over?
I didn't know they were talking about Utopia when I kind of waltzed in, but she starts talking about her favourite character and doing an impersonation of her. It was my character.
Wow.
And I'm standing right there.
Did she notice it was you?
No.
Wow.
CJ had to tell her. And then her jaw hit the floor.
Is almost like, that's one of the stories where I'm like, if I saw that in a film, I'd be like, no, this is too silly to be true.
Yeah,
but it's when that sort of stuff happens, and you don't look dissimilar. It's not like your character's got like shocking red hair and is wearing like a suit of armour. You very much look like your character in it.
And I was wearing makeup then I don't wear makeup day to day, like, because it's bleh.
A pain in the ass.
It's such a pain in the ass. I had makeup on. I feel like I would have looked more like my character.
Yeah, right.
And
That's so funny.
She just didn't click, and it was very
You don't have
strange.
to answer this. How was the impression?
I felt honoured, so...
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, how often does somebody get to say, I had somebody doing the impression of a character, which essentially you made? Obviously, there's far more of a process to it than that.
Yeah.
Like, there's writers and everything like that, but, like, you made that character. That character is you.
Correct.
To a certain extent, anyway. And then somebody doing an impression of that character?
Yeah.
Like,
absolute
that's
honour.
fucking amazing. Yeah.
But then I was a bit kind of... Like, it was weird. And it happened again at a party. She didn't do an impression of me, but she's talking about the show.
Yeah.
And I sort of put in my 2 cents about Utopia, about the themes of the show and stuff.
Okay. And this person didn't clock it was you at the time?
No.
Wow.
No idea.
Were you just fishing and be like, yeah, no, I think that show's good. What do you think of some of the supporting roles in that?
I don't know. We're talking about, I think, some of the things that they addressed in the show specifically, and then she was getting not riled up, but like passionate about what she was talking about.
Oh, that's cool.
And clearly had watched the show, but just didn't.
No,
didn't connect.
It's so
the
funny
dots
as well.
Didn't.
Yeah. Again, you look exactly the same as your character. So, but again, I suppose most people wouldn't be like, "Oh, I'm going to bump into this person." I think Melbourne, Australia in general, is probably where you're most likely to bump into somebody off the telly at a random party, or sometimes at their casual job that they need to work, or just anywhere. Post America, it's like you can get by a lot more on just acting, and then you like hang out in your actor friends groups and stuff like that. Whereas Australia, I mean, I do it myself. Somebody off the telly could be making you coffee.
Correct.
It's that, I don't know, underfunded or underpaid or just not that much of it. Like, all of the above. Yeah. So,
if you're not in the 1%, you're
exactly
making coffees,
exactly,
answering phones.
Yeah. Yeah. Did that lady that was really passionate about Utopia? Like, was she happy to see you? Did you?
No, I never. I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't.
my God.
I didn't feel the need.
So not to like this day, she didn't realize it was you.
Oh well, no. I haven't seen her since. So it was a random at a party.
Yeah, wow. Well, this random at the party, if you remember that, how long ago was this one?
It was before I had my daughter, and she's 7. So I reckon
7+ years ago then.
Maybe 2015-ish.
Wow. So if you were at a party in 2015 talking passionately about Utopia, you might want to just check those Facebook memories if you got any photos from then. Emma-Louise might be hanging out in the background.
Yeah.
So just
doing bunny ears.
Yeah, perfect. That'd be a nice little surprise for her, though. But yeah, are people generally like? I mean, Utopia is a very well received show, so are people generally pretty positive about it? Because I've got a lot of friends that work in TV or that like work on stage, comedians or whatever, and people are usually pretty unbridled on the feedback they give them sometimes. Yeah.
I am lucky to say that I've never had to deal with negative feedback.
That's great to
about
hear.
Utopia.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Is that something else then?
No.
Okay. Just the way you said that there, I was like, oh shit, what are we talking about now?
I'm waiting for someone to just say they hate the show.
And that's not an invitation for anyone now as well. All you beautiful perverts listening, do not do that, thank you, just because you think it's funny. It still destroys us inside.
Yeah, I hate the show and you're the worst thing about it.
Can I get a photo?
Oh yeah, selfie.
Yeah, bunny ears. But yeah, that kind of stuff. I've been witness to it before as well. I've not that I've had such a series regular role on anything, but people have complained about things I've worked on, and I'm like, yeah, look, sometimes it's just not good. Sometimes this show's just not for you as well. How about that?
Correct.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not your taste.
I have to say, yeah,
and you
that's
don't
a good
have to
one.
relentlessly destroy it to me.
Not for you. I don't know. Maybe you could turn it back on them and say, maybe you just don't understand it.
It's not for your like not. Usually smarter people enjoy this. You can just really push them down.
Ooh.
Put them down. What's that called? Like negging or something like that?
A bit of negging.
Yeah, you're like, I can understand why you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I have had people say they don't like Kinney.
Yeah, okay.
But they've all been borderline elderly.
Yep. Okay. I think that's most people that don't like a lot of things. On the quote unquote newer generation of comedy in Australia, a lot of older people are like, "Why is the ABC funding these anti-Donna boys? Our taxpayer money is going to this." You're like, yeah, look, ABC's not just for 70 plus or 70-year-olds plus.
Correct.
Us young folk, I say young folk, I'm 35, so I don't think I'm in the young folk category anymore. But like, it's for people under that age group as well. So I think we were allowed to share around the taxpayers' money to incredibly underfunded shows, which I love as well. I do love the Anti-Donna boys.
Yes.
But yes, if you're listening, get me on your next TV show.
I very much enjoyed the last series. I watched that sort of by myself.
Oh, okay.
And laughed out loud, so
yes.
That means it was good.
I find when I'm laughing out, I catch myself laughing out loud by myself sometimes, and I'm embarrassed. I'm like, wait, no, what? Laughter's not just for when other people are around. But yeah, when a show can make you do that, or a film can make you do that, when you're sitting in silence sometimes, just like with your headphones on, watching it on a computer, you're like, no, this is good. This is good.
I just love silly stuff.
Me too, right?
Silly,
That's what
silly.
I think Australia needs a bit more silly stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit too self-serious sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, well, I'll stop complaining about Australian platforms, which I'm actively trying to get work in just now.
Yes.
And we'll move into the podcast a little bit. So I like to ask the guests a lot of time if they've come in with, well, hopefully pre-prepared stories, but if they've come with them grouped into certain things or certain groupings together. So I know with slashes, such as yourself, so actor/stunty, if you've got the acting ones grouped together or the stunt ones grouped together, people like to do it chronologically as well, or just as it's written down on the phone.
I have got an audition story.
Oh, so again, this is an absolute classic. So, not to interrupt, I'm so sorry, but we've got for actors and comedians, TV commercial auditions.
That was a commercial.
Yep. That is the go-to whenever somebody's like, "Oh, I'm not too sure." I'm like, "What about all these horrible TV commercial auditions you've done?"
And it was actually a callback.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's usually the less.
So
lesser of the
I was
evils.
feeling rather confident because I'm in the running.
And you're like, and for people that don't know as well, in Australia, you get paid for callback auditions.
Yes, you get, it's like $75, $80.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's 80 then minus, but all that.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
all the fees.
All the stuff that people take away from us. But so like it's a far, far smaller pool of people that get the callbacks.
Correct. It could be two. It could be two people.
Yeah,
it could
literally.
Be 3.
It's very
never
few
more than a
people.
handful.
Exactly, because they have to pay for it, and like you're wasting other people's time if you're like, this
time,
person's fine, I'll get them back. It's like, this person's good, this person's good, this person's good.
Yeah.
So when you get a call back, you're like, this isn't going to be bad, right?
I was feeling amazing. It was also a very high-paying commercial.
Yeah,
so they
rough
vary
ones.
in payment anywhere from like $1,000.
There's a few of them floating around just
which
now, unfortunately.
is actually just the performer's fee.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's criminally underpaid if it's $1,000.
And then the big jump in fees comes from paying for usage.
Yep.
And that can be anything from another $1,000 to another $25,000.
I think the highest I've ever auditioned for was 1 year usage for 30 grand.
Yeah.
And that's
same.
I didn't get it, but that has been playing for 3 years now. So the person that got that, I see them everywhere. They're still in fucking billboards for it. And I'm like, well done, but I got a call back for that one as well. I was like, you motherfucker.
Well done, fellow actor. Well done.
Yes, thank you for getting work. But yeah, sorry, this one was it was
a well-paying one.
Yeah, they're the worst ones not to get because you shouldn't, but you've
Especially
mentally
when
started
you're
paying them like
so close.
the bills. Yeah, and you're like, oh, this, this 12, 18 grand would be all right.
I don't have to get some other work just yet.
I can afford my groceries next week.
Woohoo!
The dream for every Australian actor.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
So feeling pretty confident. It was by Zoom though, because I think the director was in Sydney or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Casting was in Melbourne, but she was on Zoom.
Yep.
Director was in Sydney, and we were all linked up. And I just had my phone.
Yep.
And I do my auditions in my bedroom.
Yep.
In front of my wardrobe because it's the closest thing to a blank wall that I can
it is, and
gather.
You need blank space in your background for auditions.
Yeah.
And nobody I know has it.
So all my auditions have kind of 20 cents size doorknobs in them from the 1980s.
That's
swing out
funny.
wardrobe doors.
It's I do it in the room that we're currently recording in. I installed a blind to put
Yes,
down
that's what
in
I'm going to
front
do.
of the door. Yep.
But I'm going to have to put that sort of thing in front of my wardrobe.
Yeah, it's so funny because I have it in front of the just a doorway here, which doesn't have a door on it because it leads down to a very, very small corridor to the door.
Yeah.
And then when normal people come into this room, they're like, "Why have you got that?" I'm like, it's for acting. That's all you need to know.
What? Is it navy blue or blue?
It is, yeah. So it's quite
So
a
you've
dark
gone
blue.
for the blue?
I have gone for the blue. I've tried out a couple of other colours.
Yeah.
The lighter tones don't work with me so well.
Okay.
This is just deep acting stuff now. And the green screen I find is a little bit too distracting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just got like a cream wardrobe.
I don't mind a cream as well, but
There's also seams from the doors.
Is
and
there?
little doorknobs in all my auditions.
again, like, it could be worse. You could be doing it. I've seen some auditions from certain people where they just do it in front of like a window, and I'm just watching people walk by outside the window.
Oh, so like, okay,
Oh, so,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
the
they're
windows
facing the window.
Yes,
and
sorry, they're standing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not good.
At least my window's set back a bit.
Yeah, but it's like, and any excuse you get to like have your attention taken away from you whilst watching an audition, it happens just
It
naturally.
does, yeah.
It is what it is.
Although I like to think that I'm just wowing them with my acting.
We all do, Emma-Louise. We all do, and like, I'm sure that it happens as well. But also, these casting directors, these poor casting directors, watch a billion people every single day.
They're also super rushed, and
Yeah.
I do think that's what affected this particular
TV commercial
moment.
auditions, especially.
Yeah. But even though I can talk myself around,
Yep.
I still felt a bit shit after this one.
Now, I don't want to like throw you under the bus here or anything. Are we allowed to talk about maybe what the brand was or what the kind of product was?
Well, it was a super fund.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it kind of doesn't matter because
Yep.
it was.
So
I can't even remember the story of the
I
ad.
love the scripts when they send them.
So,
it's
yeah,
like
some of them-
5-page PDFs.
Yeah.
And I'm just tell me what you want me to
And
do.
you get photos and storyboards
Yeah.
and stuff, and sometimes it's helpful and sometimes it's not.
A lot of times it's not.
Sometimes, the brief says they want this super quirky kind of person, and you give it that, and then when you see the ad come
Yeah.
out, you're like,
It's not that.
what?
It's not that at all.
So you weren't looking for quirky, or
Yeah.
was I too quirky? Oh my god.
And like, was my approximation of quirky wrong? Have I been doing quirky wrong for all these years?
For any wannabe commercial
Yep,
actors,
upcoming actors. This is
if
great
you get asked
advice.
to be quirky, give a neutral,
Yep.
a kind of happy,
Yep.
and then a super quirky.
Yep. Last in the tape.
At the end.
Yep.
When I say neutral, like,
Like how an average person would act, not neutral as in like,
It's-
hey, this is me. with
yeah,
the
like
super fun.
middle of the road
Yep.
kind of, because they always choose the middle of the road.
I know, because the quirky ones are too much.
And then look, when you go to film the commercials,
Yep.
you almost do that as well.
Yeah,
And they always go with middle of the road.
I know, because you get so many takes on a commercial, for the most part anyway, because they're like 30 seconds long, so they've got like
Times 15.
yeah, or 5. So they have so much time to redo. The clients have so much input to it as well.
Oh, yes,
so.
so many stakeholders. There's
Oh.
a Utopia word for you.
Yeah, there you go. See?
So many stakeholders.
So for this super fund, nothing particularly super fund-esque about what
I
you
don't
had
think
to do.
so. I think I was the mum,
Yes,
which is
classic.
the 90% of the auditions I do for commercials.
I am 90% dad.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't it be great if one day we were mum
Mum
and
and
Dad?
dad, what a time!
And with our fake children. I love fake children.
How many fake children? Sorry, this is such a tangent. How many fake children have you had? We can go for like.
3, 4.
Oh, the podcast
Hello.
dog has broken into the room as well. Here she
Gorgeous
is.
girl.
Came in to give some licks and be a disturbance.
I love you.
Oh, thank you, Elsie. I think we're going to take a very slight break here. We're going to get rid of the podcast dog. We'll be right back.
See you soon.
Hello. Now, before we get into our next story, I've got to tell you the main reason why I'm able to fumble through my awkward and embarrassing day-to-day occasions. Coffee. Now, fortunately for myself and all of the listeners, we have paired with one of Melbourne's best coffee companies, Coffee on Q, a coffee worth talking about. Get ready to caffeinate yourself through your next awkward moment with Coffee on Q's signature Elevate blend. Crafted in-house with precision, each sip delivers delightful flavour notes of strawberry, chocolate and marmalade. And here's the deal you won't want to miss. Coffee on Q is offering an exclusive discount to all our listeners. Simply use the code WBFT15 at checkout to enjoy an incredible 15% off all coffee purchases. That's right, WBFT15 is a key to savings, making sure you're properly awake to remember your next big embarrassing moment. Now this code is valid for all coffee products, so make sure you stock up on your favourites. And the best part? You can use the code WBFT15 as many times as you like. So don't miss out on the opportunity to enjoy the finest coffee Melbourne has to offer. Simply visit Coffee on Q, and that's QCUE.com.au, and enter the discount code WBFT15 at checkout to unlock 15% off your next coffee order. That's WBFT15 at coffeeonq.com.au. Coffee on Q, where awkward moments pair perfectly with your daily cup. All right, hello, and we're back. Sans podcast dog. So, yes, you are counting up in the break there how many fake children you've had?
I think 5 or 6.
Right, I have had upwards of 30. Wow. And I'm not even joking. From TV commercials to films to TV shows, all I am now is dad. Like, I swear to God.
How does that make you feel?
It's a funny one because, like, I think it's good because a lot of people in my age range are dads, so it makes sense to be seen as a dad. I also get cop a lot as well.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I know I don't look like one just now. I've got a massive beard because I'm on hold for something, so I can't fucking shave. But when I'm a bit more clean-shaven, I get cop.
Yeah.
So, I don't mind it. Look,
I feel like
casting's fine.
Do you get dad with the beard or without the beard? Or
dad
both?
With beard most of the time.
Could have said that.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like maybe I should go into casting.
Oh, there you go. And just cast yourself and everything. Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, I'd be honest. I go, no, Emma-Louise, you're not suitable for that one.
I'm not 18-year-old. No, so I probably can't put myself up for this one.
No. Although, I mean, I look younger than I really am.
Yeah, and it's amazing what they can do.
Eyelid flutter.
That's perfect. You described it for an audio medium. A lot of the time, got guests on, and I'm not bad-mouthing anyone. They'll start pointing to things, and I'm like, it's just us in the room. Sorry. But I'm sorry. Yes,
you mean there's no camera?
No, there's a dog sometimes.
Why, you should put a camera on the dog.
Like a GoPro.
Yeah, put her in GoPro, and then you can like
just get some awesome shots of her knees and feet.
Yes, but that you can use that to advertise the podcast on your socials,
exactly,
or on my socials because I need content for my socials.
Our socials. I know that there's definitely I've had celebrities on in the past who are featured very heavily on feet websites. So there you go. We can get some more foot content for them.
I've really ugly feet.
I don't know. I don't know how to rate feet. That's my problem. So,
if you like kind of clawed and webbed toes.
Oh, I'm sure there's people like that.
And you want to pay me?
No. Maybe we'll keep that part.
Really don't want that day job. Really don't want that day job.
I've got friends of the show, Carrie Made a Judge, very talented actor. Was on Neighbours for quite a while. Didn't make it herself, but has a WikiFeet profile.
Nice.
Yes. So I don't know. Check out yourself on there. You've been on Utopia a fair bit. People might make it for you.
My feet have never been.
Never had the dogs out.
Exposed.
Okay. Yet. I'm so sorry. We've gone on such a tangent from this wonderful story.
Look, it's not that wonderful, but I'm hoping
I'll be the judge of that.
I'm hoping I'll give the sense of why I felt a bit shit afterwards.
No, it's all right.
Or at least confused. I felt very confused.
Well, I am intrigued. So we were a mum in the
ad. Yeah. There was actual dialogue. There's not always dialogue.
No,
sometimes
it's just facial expressions.
Yeah, a lot of
movements.
Giving a lot of face and whatever. But I had dialogue for this one, and I think delivered around a dinner table. That's common.
Nice.
It's common.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Don't remember quite what we were talking about, but I did sort of 1 or 2 takes how they wanted, similar to how I'd submitted in my self-tape, blah, blah,
that's
blah.
What we saw, so that's kind of what they want, or at least
got
presumably.
A little bit of direction. And then I can't quite remember their wording, but the direction was kind of like, can you look kind of a little bit unhinged?
Okay.
So like borderline kind of like big eyes and, you know, the type of person who never blinks and...
Or a super fun dad. That's an
yeah,
interesting
really
choice.
weird. Like, so never blink and
Yep.
I can't remember the exact wording, but I was like, yeah, of course I can because
Yeah.
I'm an actor. I can do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want, please.
And so I did it.
Okay.
Did the take.
Okay.
And they're like, and they're always in a rush, always in a rush.
Oh,
and I
for
understand
sure.
that. That's
Yep.
not the problem. But the casting director said something like, and I wrote a note on this because...
Oh, no, it was that memorable. Oh,
Okay. It was something like, she said to the director,
Yep.
does that confirm what you thought?
I hate that.
And
What does that
and he
mean?
goes, and then he said something like, yep, I know, or something. What does that mean? And then they wrapped up and said goodbye and left.
That is awful. Okay, I mean, like, there's so many different things. Firstly, wait 10 seconds till you get off the call. Secondly, don't talk in weird, like, cryptic phrases. Like,
I don't know if that means
is that a good or a bad thing?
it didn't
Yeah.
achieve what they wanted, or
They see you as an unhinged person?
Yes.
Yeah.
it was either one or the other. So I was either not unhinged enough or too unhinged, and I still to this day have no idea what.
What? I mean, it's like we're such fragile creatures, actors, right? Like everyone's like, simultaneously, you need to have a really thick skin because you're constantly getting rejected all the time. You're getting told no, whether it's you're either just not hearing back from a little bit of water looking at the glass there. That's quite all right.
I just wetted the floor.
That could be our final story for the day as well. But yeah, we're constantly being told that we're not wanted, essentially, because we're not getting cast in things all the time.
Yeah.
And then when you do get cast in something, everybody's a critic, blah, blah, blah. But then you also have to be so emotionally available for every fucking scene
And
that
what's
you do.
the vulnerable?
Yes, that's it. You need to be...
Authentic.
Heart on your sleeve. And then you hear things like that, and you're like, what? And it can be a super, like, maybe they didn't think anything of it.
Correct.
But those fucking phrases stay with you forever.
Correct. Like, they've already forgotten it. They forgot about it 2 seconds later.
Oh,
and
exactly.
I actually... This was probably just before COVID, and
Right.
so I don't know if the ad got shafted because I've never seen it.
Yeah, I swear to God, sometimes it's just a big joke. Like, what these TV commercial editions, I'm like, this is like a hidden camera show, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is just a joke. People
that
just
would
pull their
make
money together and they just, like,
more
bully
sense.
actors.
Do you think maybe they had a hidden camera in my bedroom while I kind of
I mean, that's
stared off
way more
into
problematic
space,
if they're hiding cameras in your bedroom.
trying to process what the hell just had happened? Because I was like...
Well, because when you get off as well, you're just there by yourself in your bedroom.
I was.
Yeah.
And I think I had like the rest of the day by myself till school pick up or
Think over all of it.
or whatever it was. I don't know. I think my daughter was at kinder or something. But I was like, what just happened?
And it's that kind of stuff as well where you're like, please don't do this to me. I don't need any other mental health problems. I'm an actor already. I'm full of them. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. And
Yeah.
again, I say this all the time. I'm so grateful people telling me these stories because we push them so deep down.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time people, before they come on the show, they're like, I don't know if I have many stories. And they come on and like, I was thinking about it last night. And it all came back to me.
It kept me awake.
And it's going to happen. Oh, you're just going to keep going over them in your head tonight. That's why I like to share my stories as well for all this horrible stuff. But I do genuinely appreciate it when everybody comes on to share these just miserable stories.
I mean, you understand. You understand.
Yeah. And it's I understand, but also I'm like, this shouldn't be happening. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
You got your $70 or $80, so...
I did.
Yeah.
The last callback I did where I landed the job
Oh, yeah.
was much nicer.
Oh, that's nice.
And the casting director, she was also in a hurry because
Yeah.
they're always in a hurry.
Oh,
She
perpetually.
was running late. She jumped in. We did the thing. Basically, she didn't even say hello. She said,
Oh,
right,
wow.
do this, do this, do this. And that's fine. It was another
Yep.
Zoom one. That's fine. I'll do. Yep. I don't need small talk.
Yeah.
But she finished by saying, I think you're wonderful. I'm loving this whole thing, like hand
Okay,
gesture
nice,
showing,
nice.
around my, aura. I don't know.
Yeah.
Loving this whole thing. I just wish the client would bloody make up their mind.
Oh, okay.
And so
but that's it as well.
that ended with me feeling like the casting director had chosen me, even if the client hadn't got there yet. So I was like, yay, great.
But a lot of the time...
No ambiguity.
Oh, yeah.
It's the ambiguity. Like, I'd almost had rather them said on the...
On that one.
I don't think you're what we're looking for.
Not this time, sorry, mate.
And I would have kind of gone, oh, look, I'm not what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's fine.
I could judge my own performance, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But to sort of...
Just to put that on you as well.
It's like...
Yeah, whether they meant it or not. Like, whether they meant to put it on you is
Yeah,
meaning,
it's like they had seen something in me...
Unhinged you.
that was either... there or wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I will never know what.
Again, that's it, right? Because you're like, I'm never going to see these people again in my life. Presumably. I mean, maybe on another ad or something.
But they're not going to remember me.
No,
I don't
of course
think.
not. It's such an innocuous thing that they've said. Like, it doesn't matter to them. But yeah, fuck, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking TV commercial editions, man. And again, you do so much of this work for TV commercials, and then most of the time the client, so the person that's paying for the ad, just looks at a headshot and it's like, yeah, they're good. Like, it's always a model or something like that. You're like, oh man, I've put so much fucking work into this.
A model or someone, the complete opposite.
Yeah, exactly, right? And you're like, well, why did you even... I did a TV commercial audition very recently, and the part was described as female.
Yep.
And all of the stuff around it was female, and the actions for a female to do to another female is fine. For a man to do to another female is very creepy.
Yeah, right.
Because you had to smell them.
Yep.
And I'm like, of course I'm not getting this. Why am I putting so much effort into this? Didn't get it. Funnily enough, the callbacks were today. And my friend got a callback for a different role in the TV commercial. But yeah, funnily enough, they didn't want a large 35-year-old bearded male smelling another woman as a representation for their product.
I like your shampoo.
I was honestly not far off with that. Genuinely, I wasn't far off with that. So yeah, so again, I'm appreciative of all auditions.
Yes.
But sometimes I'm just wasting my time.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So, but moving on from that, do we have any other audition stories, or are we moving into?
No, I think that's the only one that haunts me.
That's bad, but good at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I have so many audition stories, which haunts me so much.
Oh, if I go back over the years. Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, my first ever audition when I was 18 for Blue Healers.
Oh, shit. For anyone that's not Australian, that is like the quintessential cop drama from the 2000s. Like, it was it 2000s?
Late 90s, 2000s? Yeah.
I suppose, yeah,
it would have been
late 90s, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been the year 2000, actually.
Yeah, there you go. So it's like...
Oh, my God, now you know how old I am.
God. No, I'll beat that part out.
It's fine.
But yeah,
I look amazing.
Exactly. There you go. See the twinkle in the eye. But yeah, that was the quintessential, and this was long before I was in Australia.
Yeah,
the quintessential cop drama, which people still talk about now, and a lot of people still wear it with a badge of honor. Like, yep, did a bit part in Blue Healers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I was like, fuck, that would be pretty cool to do actually. But yeah, so your 18-year-old audition.
Yeah. I was just. What is it when you're fresh at all this stuff? What's
Green.
Green. Oh,
Yeah.
I had all these colours going through my head. I'm going red. No, it's not red. Blue. No, that's something else.
I was blue after it. But yeah.
Yeah. I was so green.
Yeah.
So need I say more?
Well, that's the thing with a lot of auditioning. Like when you learn, quote unquote, learn acting, it's all about like the technique, and you're like, oh, you should learn the Stanislavski method, or you should learn through Adler and all this stuff. And then a lot of the time they don't give you practical advice. The podcast dog has broken into the room again. She is back. It's such a hot day, and I think I have the air conditioning on in the other room for her. But she's
because she's gonna go.
She's gonna go, and then the little tags picks up
dingle, dingle.
so well on mic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Essie, come on, out you get. I don't want to have to keep editing in these little breaks for you to get.
I don't know. Can you train? No, that would be awful. I was going to say train her to hate the microphones.
Just scare her with the microphones. I might do that when you leave. I'll say, I didn't want to do this. Emma-Louise told me to do this.
Don't you dare do it.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
I'll make her hate you. She's an absolute gem of a nugget. But yeah, maybe I'm going to take off her call her, okay?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then maybe we can trial having her in the room, because
If she
has
wants.
featured almost on every single podcast that I've recorded in my podcast studio. But there we go. So hopefully she's a little bit more
good girl.
well behaved. But yes, sorry, you never get taught practical things like how to get an agent, how to audition properly, like what the, I don't know, set etiquette is, what the fuck everybody on set does.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so much stuff. When you do inevitably turn up on sets, a lot of the time you're like, why is there a million people here? And then you're like, oh, sometimes I just need to jump straight into a scene and I don't have half an hour to warm up with all my techniques. Like, it's just...
No.
Yeah, so
You've got nowhere to warm up.
No.
You've got no... I do it...
time sometimes as well.
If I got to do talkie talks, I tend to warm up on the drive over, even if I don't talk for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
I still feel like I've done something.
Exactly, right? I'm the same as well. I think the car ride there is, like, it is a godsend.
Yeah.
Because you get yourself mentally prepared. So not only is the podcast dog in the room, she's brought in one of her toys to start tearing apart whilst we're recording. She has a shark currently as well, for all you people playing along at home. So my apologies for all this background noise, but we're living with it. We're rolling with it.
We're going to roll with the...
So, yeah, exactly, in the background, just the of a shark being torn apart. Yeah. But, yeah, so, like, when you're 18, I don't know how you do a good audition, honestly.
No, and it was my first... So the agent I had at the time came from a dance school I'd started doing lessons with. They were, like, affiliated with the dance school.
Yep.
And... so that's how I got that agent.
Yeah, right.
I feel like that was partly luck at that time. I think I'd joined an extras agent before that, and and learned the hard way because I did the in-house photo shoot thing.
For how much money?
$200 and something dollars.
It's always $250. Or sorry, $249.
Yeah.
And you get your little. I mean. And not to out us, but we were a little bit on the older side, so you don't do it anymore, but you get your comp cards as well.
Yes.
Did you have your printed out CV on the back of your headshot ever?
Yeah. Not too many of them, because I think
they were starting
the digital age was dawning.
Fast approaching. But I remember that. Yeah.
Got an email address the same year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the year 2000.
And then you're stuck with that. And people didn't know email addresses were going to be such a thing, so my old email address is horrible.
I've managed to get rid of mine.
Have you? Good
it's an
on
old
you.
Yahoo.
Yeah, I've still got an old Hotmail address.
You don't have to keep it.
I've got stuff that's signed up to it sometimes. It's pretty dead now. Like, it's mostly just like, it's on my whatever mail app on my phone, and I generally don't use it unless I'm signing up to something for a discount, which I'm like, I know this is spam, but I want this $10 off.
Yeah, got you. That is a great idea.
I'll chuck that Hotmail one under the bus for that.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's like it's nice to see everything's coming to the digital age now as well, where you're not having to carry it around to auditions, or like, did you have to pay for your comp card to get printed out for the extras agency as well?
Probably.
Yeah. I've been with that exact same boat as well.
Of course, do you realise what we have to pay for now?
Every fucking casting.
4 different casting websites.
So that's including our stunt casting website as well.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple other casting websites for acting. So.
I'm not on the stunt one.
Okay.
Because
it's a lot of fucking money
I feel
for
like
everything.
I'm just moonlighting in stunts now.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Look, everybody does it a different way, and a lot of the time in stunts, it's who you know, honestly.
Yeah. I'm happy to step in when they need an extra body.
Yep. Literally sometimes.
Or if I am the correct body, because usually that's...
very specific
bit
for doubling
bit
and
of
stuff
doubling
like that.
and whatnot. But I don't train, which is why I haven't met you, Seb.
Yes, sorry. So this is actually, a little peek behind the curtains again here. This is our first time meeting in person, even though we have a billion friends in common and have actually worked on the same TV show as you, but just not in the same scenes.
Yep.
Like, it's so funny that, presumably that's why we haven't met.
Yeah, I'm a bit out of the loop.
No, that's all right. That's cool. The loop's not the coolest place to be all the time as well, I'll be honest with you. All these bloody weirdos doing the stunt training. I'm joking, of course. I love you all. I'm one of those weirdos.
They all dress in black.
I'm the only person that wears coloured clothes there.
Me too. When I go.
Perpetually odd one out. And I always say, I feel like I'm back in drama school. Everyone's wearing theatre blacks all the time. I'm like, guys, you can wear colour. Okay.
Part of the reason is all the T-shirts that they get on productions from the coordinator are always black.
But even then, they're just like, it's black sweatpants, it's black shorts, black shoes, black hats. And I'm like, guys, like, you can have fun here. It's fine. You're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to dress nice.
Nah.
No.
Their fun is in throwing themselves off things.
Or through things, into things,
under things.
Yeah. Over things. Just throwing yourself.
Did we do into?
I think
into, over, under... At.
Against, off of.
Against, off of.
Pinging off of things sometimes.
On fire.
Yep.
Whilst on fire.
Whilst on fire. Whilst wearing the most uncomfortable costume in the world.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. We should actually train in uncomfortable clothes.
That's what I think
comfortable
sometimes. Because you train in all your nice athletic wear, and then you get chucked on set with like a pair of brogues on your feet, really uncomfortable suit which doesn't quite fit you, and you're wearing all your pads underneath. And you're like, I don't know if I can pop a squat, let alone chuck a header.
So, the female guards on Wentworth.
Oh, yes. Yes. Sorry, please.
High heels.
Yep.
Not like a stiletto, but like an office.
A good-sized wedge.
Chunky, heeled wedge.
Yep. Yeah.
I used to have to pre-strap my feet. Literally from toe to heel.
Brutal.
Had to use tape because I couldn't wear any kind of socks because they'd be seen.
Of course. Yeah.
And all preventative.
Yep.
Just from general blisters.
Yep.
And then if I had to move quickly at any time.
Oh.
So yeah.
That's like, guys complain about it all the time. I feel so much worse for women in stunts because you're wearing the most always at least elevated shoes, like it's a higher platform shoe or a stiletto.
Or something we can't cover our knees for some reason.
You can't cover your shoulders. It's like it's always revealing, or it's a tank top or something like that. Guys wearing big biker jackets and stuff like that. You're like, these are built-in pads.
That's why Wentworth was the best. At least the guards wore long sleeve shirts and trousers, so and the prisoners wore trackies.
Yes. Oh, what a fucking delight.
It was.
Yeah. But like a lot of the time, I like, and for the most part, women aren't quote unquote allowed to be muscular because it's not what quote unquote women are meant to look like, or like who you're doubling for isn't muscular.
They're not. Yeah, they're not often.
Which is like, muscles are great, but they are is nature's protection. Like they're nature's armor essentially. So like the bigger you are, the nicer it is to fall. Sometimes obviously you've got a bit more weight, but like you can like hit into something without feeling it on your bones, essentially.
And just, now that I'm not strong anymore, I'm not, stunt fit, and I can compare the two.
Yeah, right.
The muscles are good when you have to do something over and over and over and over
really
and over
helps,
and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not like not a complex thing as well. So like, a very hard movement, which you might need to do 13 takes for.
Yeah. And
it's fine the first 4 times, but you need to do it with the same energy in that last take as you did in the first take.
But even just being a dead body in a sort of obscure position.
Oh my God. The best bit of advice was given to me by very talented stunt coordinator here in Victoria, Chris Weir. Said, die hard and die comfy.
Yeah.
Make your death look fantastic, but die in the most comfortable position that you can. And I was like, that is genius.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I'm like, I love to do a flat back, which is essentially like you just like, you're going straight up, and I think it was made quite popular by Neville Longbottom in like the first Harry Potter movie, where he's just like petrified and just falls straight on his back. It sucks to do, but you're essentially just lying on the ground after that. You're not like lying down with like your arm in a crumpled position where you're cutting off blood supply.
I actually think I had to do an almost flat back onto Chris Weir.
Oh, did you? That's what you meant by die comfy, is somebody else's protection.
Yeah, no, we didn't die. We had to share an electric shock on Wentworth.
Oh.
My character, who I was doubling for, stuck a fork in the toaster. And the character that...
On purpose, or...?
She was suffering
Through ignorance?
dementia.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Chris's character was a guard,
Yep.
and he just happened to grab her right at that moment.
Yes, right.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Grab. And we got to fly back, and I got to land on Chris. So
Well, that's also, that should be the third thing as well. Die hard, die comfy, or die on top of someone else so they can take all the impact.
make sure you're on top.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't have people falling on top of you. Because I think when I died on La Brea, I was like, I'm going to flat back because it's on dirt, so it's not as bad.
Yep.
But also, like, it's a very slight incline, so it's like I'm just lying in bed. Which was great until halfway through the day it started raining, and then a tiny little river formed exactly where I was falling.
Oh, you got to go in a puddle.
So I got to lie in a puddle because there was, of course, I died, and then there was dialogue after that.
Yes, so you got to stay there.
Yeah, and then an extra had to come up and take my weapon off me, and I was like, "Oh, don't touch me anywhere weird, please." There's such. I bag out extras too much on this podcast, but they are bizarre human beings sometimes.
Well, when you're on something like La Brea where there's a million of them,
yes,
the odds are at least a handful are going to be strange.
Especially when you get stuck with them, because a lot of the time in stunts, they'll bring the stunties in, but they have to bulk the scene out and they can't afford 80 stunties. So there's 7 stunties and 73 extras.
Yes.
And they're there and you can't get rid of them.
No.
And they want to be a part of it.
So for the La Brea sinkhole scene,
yes,
the very first episode, they were flying an 8-blade massive drone.
Wow.
It wouldn't fit in the room that we're in now.
Wow, holy
huge.
shit. That is, and like, we're not in a particularly big room, but like, it's a room.
Yeah.
And that's a big-ass drone.
It is a big-ass drone. So they had all the stunties running under the flight path.
Yeah, of course.
And we were told that if we thought an extra was going to deviate from their path into ours or anywhere near the drone, we were allowed to tackle them.
Which is so funny because, like, you're doing them a favour.
Yeah.
They don't understand it, and they're quite happy to be part of the action because, God, they love to try. I worked in Neighbours fairly recently, and this one guy on there really wanted to try and get and be a part of it. And they pulled him up on it. He's like, no, the assistant director told me to do it. And the assistant director's like, no. No, I didn't. And we're just like, because you're trying to keep other people safe at the same time as well, because, like, extras don't have control of their bodies a lot of the time. So they've got flying arms and flying legs.
Well, no, the other thing is they're also not informed.
Yeah.
Which is not their fault.
No. It's not their job to be informed, but yeah.
Everyone was given a brief of how dangerous the drone was, but they weren't necessarily directed of where exactly our path was, and they're not told exactly where their path is. Maybe every now and then, but they're like 100 people.
So many people. Like, at that point, you're just wrangling cats. Like, it's impossible. Yeah.
Did
you tackle any extras?
No, I did not tackle any extras. I try and give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And go, okay, you're not an idiot. You're just not informed.
You can lead them off. You're like, because a lot of the time in these wider shots, you can talk to people in them as well.
Yeah, they're not worried about audio or anything.
So you'd be like, no, don't come this way. Yeah. And until they're very, like, persistent. Or they don't know you're on the stunt team maybe as well.
That's true. They wouldn't know. Why would they know unless usually they can work it out, but I think they just assume everyone's extras.
With their hands in front of them, standing to attention with the stunt coordinator. That's how you know stunty on set.
Of course.
Yeah. That's the classic.
And then the stunt coordinator turns his back and everyone starts dancing.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, okay, get the silliness out of us, and we're back to being professional.
Yeah. I always try and think of the collective noun for stunties.
Like a gaggle of stunties, is that what you're meaning?
No, it's got... So the collective noun for stunties, I haven't found one that I'm 100% happy with.
Yeah, okay.
But it's got to have something to do with ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they can't sit still, stand still.
Oh, I mean, that's
unless
stunties, right?
Their camera's rolling.
Unless they're...
Or they're talking to the stunt coordinator.
Yeah.
And being on their best behaviour.
Yep. But as soon as you get them all together, everyone's pretending to punch each other or kick each other, or like, hey, I've got this little 5-beat thing that I want to practice.
Yes.
And you just see them standing off, like doing wushu to the side or something like that.
30 seconds of downtime and someone's throwing a punch.
Yeah, exactly. Or just pretending to punch you in the stomach.
Oh, it'll be slow motion. Yeah, it'll be slow motion, and everyone's doing all the slow motion moves, or like,
yeah.
And their own sound effects.
Oh, of course. Or you've got your props, and you're like, I've got a foam knife. I'm going to behave myself, but this is fun to play with.
So I can now segue into my next story.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, let's get this back on track.
Because we're talking about stunties misbehaving.
Oh, okay. So I'm excited.
I fucked up.
It happens to the best of us.
Not to the detriment of any other person but myself.
Which sucks for you, but again, it's probably the best way to fuck up as well, right?
Yeah. And my safety was not compromised in any way.
Okay, good.
Just my dignity and
we got rid
maybe
of that
future work. Maybe future work with this stunt coordinator.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
well,
I don't know.
We don't have to name names in that case.
Yeah. So I had to travel for a gig,
which
was fairly new to me.
Yeah, nice.
It was 2022.
Okay, cool.
So not that long ago, really.
Yeah.
And I hadn't travelled for acting or stunts, really.
Are we talking,
like overnight, like
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Are we interstate? Or are we
Ildenway, so 2-hour drive.
Oh, okay.
Lake
I don't
Eildon?
think I know where that is. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Sorry, Lake Eildon. Sounds familiar, but yeah. Okay, yeah. So you're out there. You're on a or accommodation's been provided.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a bit exciting.
It's a bit exciting.
A cheeky little hotel room or
motel, and it was a bit exciting.
Yeah.
Also,
night away from the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like a big bed to yourself, blah blah blah, is kind of nice.
Oh,
even just some alone time.
Quiet
it's kind of nice every now and then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was ready to go on my little journey, but I hadn't received my travel order yet.
Oh, okay.
Which is like, the details where I was going.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm waiting. Eventually comes through from my agent.
Yep.
And I was good to go. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
The car was packed. I was just waiting for my destination.
Yeah,
so I'm going, there's my destination, and off I go.
Okay. I'm going to be this is making me nervous.
No, it's not. It's not that.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but I just.
Because I can see this happening to myself as well, and this stuff just gives me the worst anxiety.
So I'm arriving the sort of day before the gig.
Nice.
Day before the gig.
Yeah, cool.
So the plan was to wake up and get to set whenever I can. Mind you, I didn't get the call sheet till nearly 10 p.m. at night.
Guys, please stop doing that. Any AD, and I get it, like it's hard, but like I'm going to bed at 9 p.m. for an early call time. I don't want to wait up till 10, 11, midnight sometimes for a 6 a.m. call.
Yeah. I think it was an 8 a.m. call, but I didn't know that.
Exactly. That's the problem, and you're stressing out so much. And I'll be honest, I went to bed at 9 p.m. regardless.
Correct. But I couldn't because I didn't have my call sheet. So I was ready, basically trying not to look at my phone because I wanted to get to sleep, but having to look at my phone and just go,
how can you get to sleep?
What the fuck is happening? Yep. Okay. That all came through, got up, went, did the job. So the job was driving.
Oh, cool.
Gig on second unit.
Yep.
So had to drive my car to the first meeting point.
Yep.
Drive a ute up and down for some drone shots.
Cool.
While they were closing off roads temporarily, letting cars through, and anyway, it was really good, having the time of my life.
Yeah, wonderful.
Driving my car around everywhere.
Yep.
Because we had 2 other locations. Went and did that one, and then the final location was really fun as well. I got to drive a 1976 Fiat.
Wow.
Up and down the Black Spur.
Oh wow.
In a convoy with 3 other cars.
Oh shit.
So that was I enjoyed that whole thing, even though it was
great.
wet and whatever. But again, they were stopping the traffic for the bits.
Yeah, so
that we
for
needed.
the most part, when it's on public roads, you'll have your traffic coordinators, your like safety supervisors.
Yeah.
Essentially, just stopping people for a few minutes because you can't close down an entire public road because people live there. So yeah, so it's essentially like whenever you need to go for a take, hopefully, everyone's off the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was all good. Great gig. Had the
Yep.
time of my life. And then it's getting towards the end of the day.
Yep.
Nearly, I think it was about 5:30 at night. It was
Okay.
winter, so it was nearly dark.
Yeah.
Most people who were leaving from the Black Spur, sort of Hillsville way,
Yeah. Okay.
were heading home back to Melbourne.
Yeah, nice.
But I thought I was going back to my comm, so I was like,
Yep.
I took some radios back to unit, which was an hour 15 back from Melbourne, like away from Melbourne.
Yeah, wow,
back
that's pretty decent drive
Yeah,
to
so I
unit.
went back,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, yeah, that's all good. So handed those over, signed out, whatever.
Yep.
Then went back to my comm.
Yep.
Had a great night's sleep. Got up, went home.
Yep,
blah
okay.
blah blah. And then I got paid, right? Which
Okay.
is always good. That's always good.
No, so far everything sounded good. Yeah.
But I didn't get paid all my kilometres yet, right? So
Okay.
they were covering my car travel.
Yeah.
Because not only was I driving to the
Accommodation,
comm and unit, blah, blah, blah. I was driving from location to location to location and all of that. And I submitted my kilometres and they just couldn't wrap their head around it all nicely. And I'm like, but
Okay.
this is what I did, blah, blah, blah. My
Yeah.
agent had a bit of to and fro with the agent.
Yep.
And then I got a call from the stunt coordinator's assistant
Okay.
on
okay.
on that job ongoing, and had a good chat to her. And they're like, "Are you sure about this?" And I sort of explained it all.
Okay.
I'm like, and and then I think in a text, this is one of the worst things because I'm really, really, really bad at kind of advocating for myself and standing up for myself in
Yep.
all aspects of my life,
Yeah, okay.
except for my husband,
Oh, okay.
because I don't need to stand up to him.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Anyway, and I don't need to stand up to many people. But anyway, I thought I will advocate for myself, and I
Yeah.
said, I hope they pay it soon.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And normally I would be like, just not say anything and just,
Yeah, I know. Like, with that kind of stuff as well, you're like, I don't know how to phrase this being like, I'm right,
Yeah,
but I
I'm
don't want
like-
to say I'm right. So, yeah, you
Yeah.
say something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what came of that. That
Yep.
went to the coordinator's assistant. I don't know whether she passed that on to anyone or no idea. But I then got a call a week or so later from the coordinator,
Okay.
and they started the conversation something like, just want to talk about your stay in Eldon. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So the second night of accommodation, what can you tell me about that?
Okay.
I was like, oh, what do you mean? So you weren't supposed to stay 2 nights?
oh, shit.
I was like, wasn't I? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I really thought I had 2 nights of accommodation.
Yeah.
If I went back and looked at the job order, the travel order, no, I didn't.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
But what happened was, and I didn't bring this up till now because I didn't want to ruin the story.
Okay.
When I arrived at the accommodation, the motel owner, worker, whatever, he told me I had 2 nights booked.
Oh, okay. Oh, so...
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And I think I did mention that to the coordinator, but obviously I didn't read my travel order correctly.
Yeah, okay.
And the coordinator was like, well, you know, sometimes they have it booked to have it up their sleeve.
Yeah.
You could have just called if you needed to stay and legitimately.
Yeah.
In my mind, there was no fucking way I was driving another 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I had literally driven nearly 300 kilometres that day.
Yeah.
So in my car, it was over 200 kilometres.
Yeah.
And then if you add the gig.
Yeah, the picture cars. Yeah.
Yeah, so in my mind, I was like, of course I've got another.
I mean, that's just safety as well. Like, that's just like, this is what a lot of accidents happen because people are driving back from sex are tired, like late at night and stuff like that. But
I still just like, oh, fuck. And I just, all I could do was apologise.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the coordinator, I felt like a school kid being told off.
By a teacher?
Yes!
Because they are like that, aren't they?
Yeah, a little bit.
I know.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Is that why they took the kilometres off you, was it? Or...
They couldn't, because there was a back to a com on the second night, they couldn't reconcile it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but she didn't have a second night.
Oh, so that's why they were getting confused by...
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that sucks, though. That's so awkward.
I mean, I know, it sucks, and I was like, but I thought I had a second night.
Yeah.
And the coordinator was like, you know, you just needed to have called me.
Yeah.
And I would have got it ticked off and notified production that you were going to stay another night. And I was like, yep.
I'm so sorry. And there's like, stunts is so much paperwork as well. Like, you have to be able to read everything you get through, contracts and travel notices and call sheets, and you slip up every now and again, and it's like, it's not the end of the world, but it's not a good reflection as well, unfortunately.
No, very unprofessional.
I mean, but like, accidents happen, man, and it's an accident that happened which has cost the production a slight bit of money. Like, not the most money at the end of the world, but that's the reason why they're...
I don't know if they did pay me the full kilometres in the end.
Oh, okay.
And obviously I was going to...
So you paid for the accommodation.
I was like, I'm going to suck that up. That's fine.
Yep.
They paid me enough.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of to and fro in my mind. I'm like, but they already had the second night booked, so they would have been paying for it anyway, so I haven't cost them any more. But then... technically I was clocked off, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And whether or not they try and use the accommodation for someone else, but then obviously they didn't.
No,
they
didn't.
Room. Yeah.
And you know what? I was so confident that I had 2 nights that I didn't pack my stuff. You know, I left it all in the room.
Far out. Oh, that is unfortunate.
So I got my slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it... Yeah.
Look, again, at the end of the day, I was expecting so much worse, I'll be honest.
No.
So I can breathe a slight sigh of relief. But yeah, like, that's... You never want to do that as well, right? And especially because a lot of the time you feel like... I don't know about yourself, but like you feel like the stunt coordinator's doing a favour getting you on the job. Because I'm like, oh, thank you so much for getting me on here. And like, obviously they need people, but I'm just like, oh, I never want to disappoint. And then it's not even...
Yeah.
Like, again... It's just a little bit more extra work for them, which you never want to create, but like it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it sucks.
Like, I'm so sorry.
I know, right? That's it. Are you still in touch with the coord, or were you just moved past that now?
Let's see. That was 2022. Then 2023 was a bit slow for Melbourne stunts.
It was. Unfortunately, we rely very heavily on American work here.
Yeah.
And the strikes kind of killed a lot of, Australian work. Well, American work in Australia, I should say. So, yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. All right. Well, 2024 is the year for reconciliation.
Hope so. I don't think I did any stunt work 2023.
Yeah.
Because I did season 5 of Utopia, which took me out for a couple of months of
you don't
anything
do
else.
Stunt work whilst you're doing a TV show.
Sorry,
turn
unavailable.
Out with a broken nose. Yeah. But yeah, that's,
Yeah, so I like to think that I'm not on bad terms. It's just, it was a slow year.
Yeah, well, it was a slow year. It was definitely a slow year. I had plenty of friends that didn't get anything as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it sucks to hear. I'm so happy it wasn't worse, though.
Okay.
I'm so happy it wasn't worse.
Can I ask what you were thinking?
Oh, I honestly thought that you might have ran someone over.
Oh! No, I did have to stop for a wombat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'll tell you what, someone said to me once that they never use their high beams.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And after nearly like smashing a wombat,
yeah,
like so close, thank fuck I had my high beams on.
That's a crazy. I don't know why you wouldn't use your high beams.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they just get annoyed with having to turn them off again for anything oncoming.
I find being able to see in the dark helpful. I
enjoy seeing in the dark too.
As a driver, I enjoy that, yeah. I was also kind of thinking that you got the call times or days wrong and didn't turn up and you got like a phone call. That's genuinely, I check and recheck call times 5 million times. And I can never sleep well the night before just in case. I'm like, have I missed my alarm?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
You know what, one time for Utopia, which I always usually start about 6 a.m. on shoot days, I had forgot to set my alarm.
Oh.
But I think it was set for 5.
Yep.
I woke up at 4:59 by myself.
Fucking
on my own.
How is that? Thank you, body clock. That is amazing.
And then when I was like, oh, my alarm's going to go off in a minute. Yeah. And then I looked and went, no, it's not.
Thank God for that. That could have been so much worse.
So worse. Because we all know being late...
Oh, that's the nail in the
number
coffin.
one sin.
Yeah, especially in stunts. If you're on time, you're late. So yeah. Jesus. All right, we're going to start bringing this podcast to a close here, Emma-Louise. Did you have any other prepared stories that we want to fire through just at the end here?
Well, I don't know. I was going to talk about one of my worst acting experiences. But
yeah, let's finish off with that. Unless you don't have to tell it if you don't want to.
So it was a show with a kind of ensemble cast.
Okay.
So much like Utopia.
Yep.
But it was a drama. So if any guests come to Utopia, we have them for 3 days because we do a rehearsal day and then film an episode in 2 days.
Do you guys do a rehearsal day?
Yeah, we do.
That's amazing.
Because it's 90% of an episode is in the one location and we're in an actual office.
Yes, that's right.
That it's all there. Units there, everything's there.
Oh, that's
it's all
amazing.
Together. So we do a rehearsal with camera. So we start with the script read, go into rehearsal, and then we need that because we film an episode in 2 days.
Yeah, and it's quite punchy dialogue
so
as
quick.
well. Yeah, and it's
everything's
not like,
fast.
Yeah, it's mostly just talking as well. Like it's an office-based drama.
Yeah.
Or comedy, sorry. But like, so it's not like a lot of people just like moodily walking down the street or anything like that. Like you need to rehearse to get that down. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's cool.
So we often meet our guests, bit parters, on the rehearsal day.
Oh, awesome.
And we welcome them with open arms.
That's so fucking nice to hear.
Yes.
That's lovely. I love that.
Because we just love everyone's happy there. We love our guesties. We love doing that. And we also know we're not going to have them for long.
Yeah.
And we also like to word them up. We're like, okay, strap in.
It's going to be a whirlwind.
We were on the roller coaster. Yeah. It's a fast ride.
Yeah, cool. That's good to know as well.
Awesome. Not every set is like that.
No, but that's why I was genuinely impressed that you did rehearsals, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah.
It's a lot of the rehearsals is for camera.
Yep.
And also we do a little bit of script refining.
Oh, cool.
If we've got our own suggestions, we can offer it then.
Oh, fuck, that's sick. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, good on you, working dog.
Yeah, fuck so... Yeah. And it might... Like, I often might have minor changes.
Yep.
Especially if I feel like it's not rolling off the character's tongue, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I'm getting distracted.
Yes.
So not all sets are as welcoming. And I don't think... It might not be intentional. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But you can rock up with a guest part and just feel a bit like you're just a fly on the sheep's bum.
Yeah, like... some working environments aren't as... fun, or I don't want to say that they're toxic, but like they're not, like some people aren't the best gel with each other, and it's not always like it kind of carries over a little bit into the working environment.
Or people have a different process that does not include speaking to the guesties. Or they're such a tight-knit group.
Yeah, they're like,
there's no room.
Guesty in every day.
There's no room for anyone else, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Excuses. No.
No.
So it's not that they're nasty.
Yep.
Like, it's not that. It's just, you feel like the 10th wheel or whatever. You know what I mean?
You
whatever.
Really are. Yeah, your spare thumb. Like, yeah.
And even to the point where it was a pretty small scene, really.
Okay.
But I also wasn't really directed in any way.
Yep. I've seen that happen before.
And I had to yell at a large group of people who were also yelling.
Okay. And
so I kind of went with trying to be louder than them.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I don't really know I wasn't informed, and I feel like I could have, if I, A, was more confident, B, felt more part of it, I could have actually asked.
Yeah, right. Like you had permission to ask.
What are you seeing? What can I deliver? Like, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of just went for it, and I'm yelling at this group of people. And the first time I saw the footage I had to do the ADR.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was a bit...
For anyone that's listening as well, sorry, after a dialogue recording, so you go into a booth and you have to lip sync, essentially, your own stuff because the audio on the day didn't work for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it didn't work because I was ignored that day.
Yeah, okay, they just didn't even like you.
I was an afterthought. So I saw it back and I'm like, oh, fuck. I did not enjoy watching myself back in that one. And then I eventually watched the episode that it appears in.
Okay.
And again, I'm not that kind of happy with it.
Yeah.
And it was on a streaming service.
Okay.
And a couple of days later, and it was episode to episode, so it wasn't all dumped at once. But a couple of days later, I get a message from my cousin, and there's a still of me yelling at these people, just me in shot. And all he's written is, ha, 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 ha.
What?
He's commenting on my bad acting. This is my cousin.
No.
It's all right. He'll get his.
Okay.
But I literally replied, I knew you would say that.
Yeah.
Because this cousin was the only one I knew who watched this particular show.
Oh, okay, yep.
So I knew I'd get feedback at some point.
Yeah.
And I knew it would be something like that.
Fuck.
So I know I did a horrible job. And I should own it, but at the same time I'm like,
it's amazing.
It's just
because people don't know the context of that kind of stuff. And you're just always expected to do the best performance of your life. You're like, nah, I'm a fucking human as well, man. Like, all the external factors to this have made me not perform well.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, surely if you want people to perform the best they can, have such an inclusive and welcoming set, or at least direct somebody.
Yeah, a bit of direction would be nice.
Yeah.
Or like...
anything.
Exactly. Yeah. I felt like I got nothing.
That's crazy, right?
Nothing. And I didn't... I guess the environment meant that I also felt like I couldn't ask for anything.
Yep. Yeah, which is not like what you want, because again, like what we were talking about earlier, you have to be so emotionally available.
Yeah.
If you feel like you can't even ask for a glass of water, you're like, oh, I'll just shut down then, I suppose.
Something like that.
Oh.
Excuses.
No, but I mean, like, it is that, but they are valid excuses as well, right? What a fucking... shit thing.
Yeah. Look, a learning experience. I just wish it wasn't
a nationally broadcasted television show. Yeah. Where like a lot of people learning things don't have their their learning experience broadcast to millions of strangers.
Yeah.
Which is forever ingrained. And that's what people think you are as well. Because if you don't do a good performance, they're like, oh, they're just a bad actor.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, come on, man. I've been no.
And so what it happens though to a fragile actor is that I do things like oh, clearly I'm horrible at drama.
Yeah, I do that to myself all
So
the time as well.
I should just stick with comedy and not put myself out there for all the other things.
Yeah, no.
Because I can't do it. And then if I get an audition that, is more dramatic, I'm
And you bomb it before you even put your first take down.
Yeah, of course.
Well, what a downer to end this podcast on, Emma-Louise.
Well, how about we talk about something... This could happen to anyone on any job.
Yes, perfect. We'll finish on this one then. Yes.
So for us, a producer might be considered your boss, right?
Yep.
So at one after party...
Oh, I love the after party stories.
I don't usually... Yeah, I'm not into after parties because, loud and annoying. But
They're a real hoot.
Just went in for the greeting.
Yeah?
I went in for a kiss.
Okay.
But he went in for a hug.
Like a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a hello, nice to see you.
With them.
No, not a make. Hello, nice to see you. Yeah. So he went in for the hug, just hug, and I went in for the kiss.
Oh, the hug, sorry, yep.
Yeah,
okay.
so you know what that means.
Did you just kiss him on the lips?
The neck.
Oh! I mean, there's worse places to kiss people on, but like... Oh, I mean, for anyone that's listening as well, producers are like, they're the I don't know, like the glue that holds any production together.
Yeah.
Your go-to, a lot of the time, the people that kind of pay you as well.
Yeah.
Or facilitate your pay. So, a nice little kiss in the neck.
Oh, is.
But again, what happens
It's very
at a rap
intimate, isn't it?
party
It is.
stays at a rap party.
Anyway, we both acknowledged it then and there. So.
That's good. At least it wasn't just awkward silence and then went your separate ways forever.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I've seen that person since.
Oh, good. And kissed him on the neck again?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, I just thought maybe that's a fun little greeting that you have
I
together
think we
now.
smile and nod now.
Was it from like 6 meters apart? Just like a polite wave. No more weird kisses. Well, that's a lovely story to end on. I'm very happy to hear that. And the last story was like, again, I think what I like to say on this podcast is I like 50% comedy, 50% soul crushing darkness and despair. So I think we've hit that pretty well actually on this one.
See that anything comedy, I would laugh as well. So
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be that embarrassed.
No,
but...
I think that's what it kind of comes par for the course being an actor as well, right? You're like, that's my job is to embarrass myself a lot of the time. Yeah. So
True.
it's the stuff that really sticks out. You're like, oh, okay, that really made an impact. There are the stories that I love to hear. But thank you so much for coming on. Now, where can people find you? Where can people see you? I know Utopia, 5 seasons of it's on ABC iView, iPlayer. What's it called? iView, that's it, yep.
Yes, the first 4 seasons are on Netflix and Stan, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know if and when 5 will hit there, but iView's free.
iView is free, exactly, right? But yeah, that's right. They're definitely on Netflix. Maybe they are on Stan as well then.
I think so.
You know what? If you're listening to this, you've got access to the internet. Google Utopia. Don't go for the British one. Don't go for the American one. It's the Australian one. All very different shows.
Yeah.
Well, the American one's a remake of the British one. But I love the British one and I love the Australian one. The American one, unless you're listening.
There was actually a very short-lived reality show in America called Utopia, and I don't think it ever aired because...
It was so... Something went really wrong.
Yeah, something really wrong, and so they couldn't...
That's right.
Yeah.
I do. This sounds vaguely... It's not that either. It's
like was it like a post-apocalyptic
I think half
kind
of,
of scenario?
Half of it was post-apocalyptic, and then the other half was like living in the future and a beautiful thing, and then the contestants... This might be completely made up, but the contestants had to like fight, quote-unquote, each day or week to stay in the good side or the bad side.
Right.
So one side was the Utopia, and the other side was like a cave, essentially. But then something bad happens.
Something happened. I think someone was assaulted or something like that.
Well, swiftly moving on from that. Watch Australian Utopia.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because of that, they called it Dreamland in the US.
Did they?
And the UK,
Oh,
it was called Dreamland.
Oh, it's so funny sometimes.
Doesn't quite feel the same, but anyway.
No, not quite the same, is it? But like that happens all the time. Like that film Neighbours, called Bad Neighbours here because of
course.
Neighbours.
Yeah.
Those weird things happen all the time. But yeah, sorry, you can find it overseas as well then. That's great.
Well, I don't know if you can anymore.
Oh, look, if you have a VPN, you can find it overseas, trust me. And that all counts towards streaming views.
Of course.
I'm not advocating that, but you know. Yeah, presumably if you're listening to this, you're an adult and you know how to use the internet. So.
Wait, are VPNs illegal?
I don't know. Let's not get into this.
We're trying to pay for them.
I know, right? But I don't understand. Look, we're finishing this podcast. Google our VPNs legal if you need to find out, okay?
Thank you for having me.
No, you're quite all right. So, Sheborg Massacre as well and Tarnation.
called,
Yes.
I think it's Cabin of Terror or something like that in the US.
It is, isn't it? That's right.
Something like that.
Is that because tarnation's too big a word for Americans?
I don't know.
I'm only joking, Americans as well. Please keep giving me work on your TV shows.
It's called Sheborg in
Yep.
America because they
Massacre is a
ditched
little-
the massacre.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But yes, that's definitely out there. Is it Amazon as well? Can you find it on
maybe.
Amazon? Yeah, I think so. And then if people did want to follow you as well, you got any
Oh,
social
I've
media
got-
platforms that you
Yeah,
want
but I
people
never
to find you on?
post
Oh, okay.
because.
Well, ignore that. You got a YouTube channel as
Hey, if
well?
anyone's got any like ideas of what they want me to post, I need help. I desperately need social media guidance.
Okay, well, if people want to tell you what to post, how can they find you then?
Insta is like. Oh, I think it's like Emma-Louise Will 53 or something like
Okay,
that.
it'll be in the show notes as well.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
could
So
do that.
if that's not an account, then
And then
it'll definitely be in
Emma-Louise
the show notes.
Wilson on Facebook.
Facebook and emma-louisewilson.com.au.
It's Emma, yeah, with the hyphen on my website,
Yes, that's right.
which I haven't updated for
Hey, that's how I got in touch with you. So
3
it works.
years or something. Oh, yeah.
But yes, so people can definitely reach out to you with any feature requests.
How do you teach me to social...
Please, I think if run your message by me first before you send it to any of my guests. That's all I'm asking.
I look, if you're into knitting and crochet, I have a YouTube channel.
Oh, that's so sick. Yeah, okay. What is it?
It's made by Freya's mum.
Made by Freya's mum. Oh, sick. All right, that'll definitely be in the show notes.
But I think I've only like put 10 videos on in 2 years.
Hey, that's better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, obviously haven't cracked the algorithm.
Cracked it yet. We can also find you on Buffy Breakdown from friend of the show, Will.
Yeah, episode 1.
Yes. Episode 1, that's right.
No, 2.
Oh, okay.
I think
yes,
I
sorry,
think
episode...
2.
Yes, you are
2.
correct. So I'll link that in the show notes as well. Will
Yes,
Jones,
yeah, watch
incredibly,
that.
beautiful human being first off, but very talented stunt
Yeah.
performer. And Buffy nerd. I don't
Yeah,
think
we
you would
love
mind
him.
me saying that.
We Will and I went with another stuntie, Sarah, to a Buffy trivia night in Mornington. One was last year.
His birthday? For your birthday? Somebody's birthday.
Oh, we just went because it was on,
Oh, okay. Oh,
but
my
it was
apologies.
might have been near Will's birthday, like the day before or something.
yeah.
Yeah, we fucking won that shit.
Oh, I don't know how you couldn't. Will has the most... Well, first of all, the only person I've ever seen with actual replica of Buffy weapons, but such an insight into each individual episode and the fight choreography that went into it and who worked on it is genuinely amazing. So I would suggest checking out that channel again anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, do you want to link anyone else or anything to anyone else as well? Any previous works? Sorry, I put you on the spot there.
Yeah,
we've
that's
got
fine.
enough.
Did you
for
hear?
you.
Did you hear the cogs turning then, everyone?
I did. I'll put that sound effect in
do
afterwards.
Do it.
And then, the same as every week, you can find Won't Be Forgetting That pod across most of the social media channels. You can find myself, Seb Muirhead, Muirhead, across Instagram and YouTube. I do have a few little fight scenes up on YouTube, actually. They're quite fun. And then we have a Patreon page as well, patreon.com/won't be forgetting that pod. If you can sign up to it, it is genuinely appreciated. It really does help with the running of the podcast. And if you can't, what is free is a little 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. 5 stars, and you can write whatever you want in the comments there. As long as it's a 5-star review, you can write something mean, you can write something nice, you can write something weird. As long as it's 5 stars, I'm very appreciative. But once again, thank you so much, Emma-Louise, for coming on.
Thank you.